Good evening and thank you for joining us on Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Najaa Tijani. Former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has expressed formal appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for approving the naming of the Itakpe-Warri railway station after him. Speaking to correspondent Adam Musambo after an audience with the president, Dr. Jonathan assured Nigerians that his relationship with the Nigerian leader is cordial.
Let me use this opportunity to commend Mr. President publicly. I've already sent a letter to him appreciating that. It's a good gesture. And even completing the program is good. It shows that the president is going on with the legacy projects of previous administrations. So, and that is the way to go. So I sent a letter to him. I commended him verbally too, but you have asked me now, so let me also do it publicly that I appreciate it, and I thank Mr. President, the Minister of Transportation, and all others that made it possible.
So, Nigeria would like to know, how will you describe your relationship with President Buhari?
You've been seeing me coming to see the President. I will be seeing us having a very friendly conversation. So our relationship is okay.
That was former President Goodluck Jonathan on the naming of the Itakpe railway line after him. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has resolved to consult with key leaders of ECOWAS countries in a deliberate attempt at finding solutions to the crisis rocking the Republic of Mali. The president made the pledge while receiving reports from ECOWAS Special Envoy to the West African nation led by former President Goodluck Jonathan. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports.
The former President Goodluck Jonathan was accompanied to the State House by the President of the ECOWAS Commission, Jean-Claude Cassibrou. He briefed President Buhari on his activities as Special Envoy to restore amity to Mali, rocked by protests against President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta. A resistance group, M5, is insisting that the Constitutional Court must be dissolved and the president resign before peace can return to the country. President Buhari promised to make a case for the ECOWAS chairman, President Muhammadu Issoufou of Niger, to brief ECOWAS leaders on the matter so as to chart the best way forward towards resolving the Malian crisis for sustainable peace, unity, and democracy. He thanked Dr. Goodluck Jonathan for his comprehensive brief on the situation in Mali. Crisis had erupted in the West African nation after the court nullified results of 31 parliamentary seats in the polls held recently, awarding victory to some other contenders, which the resistance group said was at the instigation of President Keïta. The riots led to the killing of some protesters by security agents, causing the crisis to spiral out of control, hence the intervention by ECOWAS.
ECOWAS felt that cannot continue, so I should lead a special team to go again and engage them. The first person we had a discussion with was with the president, then the prime minister, and other interest groups. The president may even go back to Mali with others. So it's only proper that when you go for such mission and you come back, you have to brief your president. That cannot continue, so I should lead a special team to go again and engage them. The first person we had a discussion with was with the president, then the prime minister, and other interest groups. The president may even go back to Mali with others. So it's only proper that when you go for such mission and you come back, you have to brief your president. So we came to brief him.
Former President Jonathan submitted that ECOWAS can't preside over the removal of an elected president. Not even the African Union or the United Nations can do it, saying leaders must be elected and live under constitutional processes. President Keïta had spent only 2 out of his second 5-year mandate.
Because of this restiveness, the president has not set up a government. He's working with the prime minister alone. And of course, you need ministers to head major departments of government. For our interactions with them and the recommendations, we believe before the end of this week, the Constitutional Court will be in place. they will sort out these 31 seats, and the parliament will also be in place. And of course, the president is already setting up a government of national unity. So if this three is done and the government is running, issues of demonstration and so on, we can manage. And of course, has also set up a committee that will monitor the progress, and some of these gray areas will be examined.
The former president thanked President Buhari for providing a presidential jet for the mission, thereby making their trips to Mali convenient and comfortable. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the presidency has formally reacted to the resolution by the Senate calling on the service chiefs to resign or be sacked due to the multi-pronged security challenges in the country. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, the presidency notes the resolution but reiterates that appointment or sack of service chiefs is a presidential prerogative. It says President Muhammadu Buhari, in his capacity as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, will do what is in the best interest of the country at all times. Earlier, the Senate, through a motion by Senator Alim Dume, called on security chiefs to step aside for fresh ideas as it urged the federal government to urgently intensify the provision of modern equipment for security personnel as it mandates a joint committee on security to meet with security agencies for briefing on the purported resignation of more than 200 soldiers. And still on security, communities in the western senatorial zone of Nasarawa State, worst hit by criminal activities, are building confidence into government initiatives for lasting peace. Jamila Abubakar reports from Life Here.
The resolution is a fallout of a roundtable by Fulani stakeholders to address the state of insecurity in the Nasarawa Western Zone. Various speakers who observed that they are victims of cattle rustling, abduction and farmer-herder conflicts emphasized the need to work in synergy with security agencies to expose the infiltrators amongst them. The meeting notes with dismay the millions of naira being wasted as payment for ransom by members and pray for God to expose any member that connives with the bandits.
They will be kidnapping our members. Our Fulani are 75% victims in Nasarawa State. They used to say they kidnap our people, they will kidnap people and go and pay at least ransom of 5 million, 3 million. You will sell 40 cows, 50 cows to go and rescue your brother. Tomorrow, see, they will go to another Fulani settlement and kidnap.
It will be recalled that the National State government in a recent security meeting warned that it will not tolerate criminal activities in any part of the state, calling on perpetrators to desist.
We are working along with the federal agencies, all the police, DSS, the Air Force and the military to ensure that we are able to rescue the people who have been kidnapped and taken into the bush in that area. We are also trying to use the opportunity to see what we can do to reduce the risk in that area.
Attended by the Ardos and Mietiala chairmen from the 13 local government areas and security agencies, the meeting aims at ensuring that activities of bandits are not extended to other parts of the state. In Lafia, Jamila Abubakar, NTA News.
And now to economic development. President Muhammadu Buhari has submitted the 2021-2023 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper. The president also wrote to Senate requesting the confirmation of Chukwuemeka Chukwu as resident electoral commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission representing Abia State. The legislators commended President Muhammadu Buhari for attaching great value to the harmonious relationship between them and the executive, as they also reiterated their resolve to carry out an oversight on the National Directorate of Employment, vested with the power of implementing the 52 billion naira allocation for the 774,000 public works scheme. The Senate has also confirmed the appointment of Professor Umar Garba Ambata as Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Communications Commission. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has forwarded the President Muhammadu Buhari has forwarded the 2021-2023 medium-term expenditure framework to the House of Representatives for consideration. In a communication to that effect read by the Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila during plenary on Tuesday, the President said the early submission of the document was to enable Parliament to perform its constitutional duties. The MTEF provides baselines, parameters and fiscal assumptions for budgeting and development plans. 5 reports were laid before plenary, including the report of the Conference Committee on the Police, Repeal and Reenactment Bill. 86 bills, 3 of which seek amendment to the Electoral Act, passed first reading. In another development, the House has given the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, 48 hours to publish details of 9th House members who the minister alleged got contracts from the NDDC or be made to defend the matter legally. The incumbent governor of Ondo State, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, has emerged APC governorship candidate, having polled 2,458 votes to defeat 11 other aspirants at the primary election. Chairman of the APC governorship primary and governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello, announced this at the end of the election. Abiola Rio reports.
Over 3,000 delegates from the 18 local government areas of Ondo State voted to elect the candidate of their choice in the October 10 governorship election in the state under the supervision of members of the APC election committee led by Kogi State Governor Yahya Bello. Aside this, INEC officials also monitored the conduct. At the end of the election, the chairman APC Governorship Primary Election Committee, who is also Kogi State Governor Yahya Bello, announced the incumbent Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu as winner, having polled 2,458 votes to defeat other aspirants.
Akeredolu Oluwarotimi Odunayo, SAN, having scored the highest number of vote casts, is hereby declared the winner.
His closest rival, Olushola Oke, scored 262 votes. In his acceptance speech, Governor Akeredolu said the victory is for all members of the APC in the state.
In a matter of hours, I shall commence in an inexorable manner process of reconciliation to heal all perceived wounds. We need one another more in future than now.
The governorship election in Ondo State is scheduled for October 10, 2020 in Akure. Abiola Rio, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress says it is in total support that no vested interest will continue to turn the NDDC into an automatic teller machine while multifaceted development eludes the Niger Delta region. The party, in a statement by its Deputy National Publicity Secretary Yekini Nabena, wants Nigerians to support the forensic audit of the 19 years of the NDDC, which includes the first 4 years of the President Buhari administration, as well as well-meaning legislative inquests for the benefit of the Niger Delta region. The statement adds that the APC is in total support of President Muhammadu Buhari's resolve to audit and reposition the NDDC, like all institutions of government, as part of efforts to entrench transparency and accountability. The goal of the Buhari administration remains the rapid and sustainable development of the Niger Delta region. The audit must therefore be seen, particularly by the opposition PDP, as a decisive move to clear any stumbling block undermining the development of the Niger Delta region, this statement adds. Now, Lagos is our first port of call, and Ruem Hingino is our guide. Hello.
Hello, Najatu. The impact of the planned closure of the third Mainland Bridge on Lagos residents, especially small business owners and entrepreneurs, as projected by residents, will be overwhelming. Dotun Ogwemi reports that although residents note the necessity for the maintenance work, they pointed out the socio-economic realities made even more complicated by coronavirus pandemic.
Routine maintenance of roads and bridges cannot be compromised in order to avert dangers that may occur if the structural integrity of these critical infrastructure are not preserved, and more so for a bridge like the Third Mainland, which was built over 3 decades ago. Although the bridge has been rehabilitated on several occasions, the most recent, scheduled to commence on 24th July, has generated a series of reactions.
That would make me want to consider not coming to the island to run my business. Probably I'll have to, for the meantime, start considering running only in the mainland.
Yesterday, I know that I spent 1 hour in Costa before I can go to Abuja. You are shutting the only road that carries the heavy traffic, which is Mainland Bridge. Where do you want us to go? How do you want us to go about our businesses?
While these respondents are not enthusiastic about the planned repairs, it is an inevitable event which experts have clamored for.
The bridge just have to be, repaired and as urgently as possible.
And we still want the serviceability to be sustained. Therefore, there is need for regular maintenance of the bridge. So, in the light of that, we now want to replace all the worn-out bearings and the expansion joint. That one necessitates the partial closure of Third Mainland Bridge.
With most small business owners and motorists who commute between the island and mainland on a daily basis already dreading the events of the coming months, one can only imagine the task before traffic management agencies. In Lagos, Dotun Ogwemi, NTA News.
Let's now take you to the Nigerian Correctional Service, where the federal government has introduced a new approach to domestic energy at correctional centers in the country. To this end, a biogas system was unveiled at the Kirikiri Correctional Center in Lagos. Uzezi Arure reports.
The commissioning of the bio and liquefied gas kitchen at the Kirikiri Custodial Center is in tandem with the recommended practice for preserving the environment and preventing health complications associated with the use of firewood. This project also reduces the federal government's annual expenditure on sewage evacuation at the Custodial Center.
We are saying thank you to Mr. President Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, who has all this while supported the Nigerian Correctional Service in all the programs embarked upon to improve the quality of lives of our inmates and indeed that of the officers and men of the service.
Never again shall we be seen carrying sewage material in trucks, in buckets or in uniform.
Biogas system converts sewage to gas resources for domestic use, and when combined with liquefied natural gas resources, the outcome is adequate energy for cooking.
The methane that could have gone into the environment, we capture it, burn it more effectively, and we are saving our environment. So the federal government is reducing Nigeria's carbon footprint by doing this project.
This process has also been incorporated into the new 3,000 capacity maximum security custodial centers being constructed in Kano, Abuja and River States.
Okay, it is converting waste to gas. Yes. Is it possible to run out of waste?
I don't think it's possible to run out of waste. So long as someone eats, he must have to digest it.
The federal government plans to extend this project to all custodial centers in Nigeria. In Lagos, Uzezi Arure, NTA News.
The news continues in Abuja.
Thank you, Hingino. To Health Matters now, the NDDC has confirmed 562 new cases of COVID-19 as of 20th July 2020. The new cases recorded from 21 states indicate that the FCT has the highest new infection rate of 102 cases, followed by Lagos with 100 and Plateau with 52. Kwara State has 60 new cases, Abia 47, Kaduna 35, Benue 34, Oyo 26, and Ebonyi State has 24 new cases. Kano State has 16 new cases, Niger State has 15, Anambra 14, Gombe has 12, Edo 11 new cases, Rivers 6, Nasarawa and Delta States have 5 each, Borno has 3, Enugu and Bauchi States have 2 each, while Kebbi State has 1 new case. So far, Nigeria has 37,225 confirmed cases of COVID-19. 15,333 have been discharged, while 801 patients have died of the infection. The ECOWAS Parliament has resolved to provide parliamentary support towards the sustained fight against COVID-19 and revival of the economy of member states impacted by the pandemic. Onengie Fineface reports that Parliament received recommendations on regional health protocols on COVID-19 and effective implementation of community levy, among other businesses.
It is the first time ECOWAS Parliament is holding its session on a virtual platform consequent upon the coronavirus pandemic, which was also central to the business of Parliament in the 2020 second extraordinary session. Speaker Sidi Mohammed Tunis considered as impressive the measures adopted by heads of state to address spread of the virus and provide palliatives for the people. The extraordinary session, he notes, considers important referrals from the ECOWAS Commission, while parliamentarians work assiduously to reflect the interest of the people in decision-making.
I am optimistic that we'll do our best to represent the people and give them a voice. As members of Parliament, we have sworn to the people of the sub-region and to contribute towards improving their standard of living. We are going to continue to strive to do so, even with the limitations imposed on us by the prevailing situation.
Parliament received messages of support from the ECOWAS Court and the West African Health Organization with a strong case for controlled enhancement of free movement in the sub-region, engagement of community leaders for continued social control measures against the pandemic, and prioritizing budgetary votes for health.
We have agreed certain specific guidelines for opening up our borders, and we hope that the Parliament will continue to support that.
The Parliament will be helping to ensure that activities and projects not only respond to the needs of the people, but that relevant community officials can be held accountable.
Parliament also received strict application of tax base and rates of levy, respect for timely deposits and direct deposits as recommendations for effective community levy implementation. The session continues with committee meetings and plenary. In Abuja, Onengie Fineface, NTA News.
Now, at the forefront of campaigns to curb the spread of COVID-19 in Nigeria are journalists and other media practitioners. This critical role has often exposed them to contracting COVID-19 as recorded across the country. To further curtail spread among the media community, a governor's aide in Akwa Ibom State has donated a contactless sanitizer station to the NUJ Press Center in Uyo. Clement Parikui reports.
Apart from medical personnel, journalists are another category of workers with high risk of contracting the coronavirus. Their duties expose them to different individuals, many of whom they do not know their COVID-19 status, hence the need to exercise caution in the line of duty. This contactless sanitizer station, donated by the Special Assistant to Governor Domi Manuel on Media, Mr. Okomo, is therefore coming handy for journalists in Akwa Ibom State. Chairman of NUJ Akwa Ibom State Council, Comrade Amos Etuk, commended the donor for having the welfare of journalists at heart.
The media in Akwa Ibom State will continue to remain as very strong watchdogs who will criticize where necessary and will build as partners when necessary, because the completion agenda is a set target that we must collectively achieve.
The donor and special assistant to the governor on media, Mr. Okomo, urged journalists and visitors to the press center to make good use of the facility.
There's nothing I would have done than to make sure that the union, members of the union, are safe.
The donation to NUJ is part of support by organizations and individuals to the federal and state government fight against COVID-19. In Uyo, Clement Barukui, NTA News.
We now pause for some messages. The news continues shortly.
ICPC and NTA say you can help Nigeria to flatten the curve on COVID-19, just as you can help flatten the curve on corruption. Follow transparency, accountability, and integrity just as you follow health guidelines. Stay home with integrity and maintain your distance from corruption, just as you stay away from COVID-19 by maintaining social distance. Report every act of corruption to ICPC just as you report COVID-19 to NDDC. Stay away from corruption, stay safe from COVID-19. Report any act of corruption to ICPC on toll-free number 0800-2255-4272. This message is brought to you by ICPC and NTA.
The number of the COVID-19 cases in Nigeria is increasing daily, with many more tests ongoing. The battle of testing, isolating, treating, and attending to the affected persons rests heavily on the shoulders of our health workers, constantly putting their lives on the line and at risk to contain this virus, save and protect the lives of millions of Nigerians. To these health workers, we at the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, on behalf of millions of Nigerians, say a big thank you for all that you have done and are doing. To the security agencies enforcing the lockdown and every other frontliner, we say thank you for putting your lives on the line to save ours. There is no amount of words that can quantify our gratitude. Thank you. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
Welcome back, and now we'll head to Kaduna, our Kaduna studios, where Zulay is standing by with more reports. Hello, Zulay.
Thank you for joining us in Kaduna. The Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, has expressed optimism that the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, DIFAN, has the capacity to produce reliable critical oil for Nigerian armed forces and other agencies of government in their quest for national defense, security, and economy. The minister stated this during a collaborative visit to the industry in Kaduna. Suleiman Abdullahi Gachko reports.
It is a display of array of creativity, innovation, and indigenous capacity at the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, as the factory played host to the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, who was at the industry to assess the ongoing construction of Daikon So Garment Factory for the production of military and paramilitary uniforms and other production sites. The visit, Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika acknowledged, has changed his perception of Daikon from that of a mere furniture production factory to a critical national security asset with capability of producing enough equipment for the nation's armed forces and relevant agencies.
I'm sure if you bring in $1 billion in here, you'll get value for your money and much more. And this will begin certainly to put Nigeria on world map of technological advancements. And this is for a noble cause. This is for our military, our police, our civil defense, and our firefighting forces in the country.
Executive Order 5, which calls for local content production in both MDAs. So we are trying to cash in on this directive of Mr. President to make sure that the defense industry of Corporation of Nigeria affords the Ministry of Aviation all the area of defense-related equipment that are suitable.
With improved funding and patronage, Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, the Minister believes, has the capacity to make Nigeria proud in many aspects of national life. In Kaduna, I am Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachikun, NTA News.
The Joint Technical Task Force on Emergency Response to COVID-19 in Kaduna State says it will continue to enforce compliance with safety protocols while ensuring unhindered movement of agricultural produce and livestock on the highways. Achari Maxwell reports.
Mararaban Jos, one of the busiest ports and a melting pot for articulated vehicles along Kaduna-Zaria Highway. The Joint Technical Task Force is here in line with its mandates to ensure that trucks conveying agricultural produce and livestock are allowed free passage.
We carry foodstuff every part of this country. It is only in Kaduna that we are having problems with enforcement agencies.
They said after they left Kaduna, they go to the southern side. Some of the policemen or the army in roadblocks, some of them were even beating the drivers.
The Technical Task Force is an initiative of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development in Kaduna. Achari Maxwell, NTA News.
And return to Naija in Abuja for more nationwide.
Thank you very much, Zalei. The Selection Committee of the Federal Government Public Works Program has commenced identification of 1,000 vulnerable persons in each of the 16 local government areas of Taraba State. Joseph Otsen reports.
The Special Public Works Program is among the measures adopted by the federal government to create more employment opportunities for Nigerians. Over 700,000 persons are to be engaged in temporary skilled works. In Taraba State, the Selection Committee, being chaired by Balbale Aminu, has commenced identification of 1,000 beneficiaries and works to be executed.
They will be engaged in road rehabilitation, social housing construction, urban and rural sanitation.
The committee members, drawn from representatives of the state government, religious bodies, youth organizations, market women, traditional rulers and civil society organizations, among others, are to complete their selection assignment in 3 weeks.
We pledge our commitment and we want to express to you that we will cooperate with you for the success of this program.
Selected participants in Taraba State are to be engaged between October and December 2020. In Jalingo, Joseph Sound Otsen, NTA News.
Benin is next and Ugochukwuka is our guide. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, Naja Atu. Thank you for joining us in Benin. The All Progressives Congress has expressed concern over what it describes as the emergence of violence and chaos in Edo State ahead of the election. The APC, which attributes the development to its political opponents, the PDP, says it is undemocratic and should not be allowed to thrive. This was at a news briefing in Benin. Uduak Obong Achibong has details.
The State Publicity Secretary of the APC, Mr. Chris Azebawan, enumerated some of the political misnomers it levels against the PDP, represented by the state government, to include massive recruitment of thugs, cultists and criminals officially into government in the guise of SA and SSA, abuse of state power, incentivizing violence, brutality, providing funds and backing for crime with public funds.
We are certain that the people of Edo State know the right person and the right political party to thumb the electoral info. We will once again be writing a petition to the police and other security agencies as well as INEC to intervene and protect the election.
Meanwhile, the special advisor to the governor on media and communication strategy, Kuso Sage, described the allegation as unfounded and a systematic way to frustrate the development strides of the governor.
They are completely false. These are fabricated statements. They are stoking violence here. They're trying to cause crisis.
He called on Edo people to remain calm and ignore any information targeted at tarnishing the reputation of the Governor Godwin Obaseke's government. In Benin, Udakobong Achibong, NTA News.
And motorists plying the Ado Ijon Kogi Abuja Road in Advocacy are now having a smooth ride on the Mainland Bridge as its rehabilitation has been completed and now open to traffic. Yemi Dalemo reports that the federal government's intervention on the bridge was delivered on time.
The federal government intervention on the bridge, which was in a state of disrepair and threat to commuters, was completed in 6 weeks instead of the 3 months earlier fixed for its completion. Federal Controller of Works in Edo State, Mr. Ishaq Lawal, said the timely completion of the project is a demonstration of the federal government commitment to meeting the urgent needs of Nigerians.
What we have done is to actually see what we can quickly do that will salvage the challenges we are having here.
This is a kind of a palliative which will solve the problem to at least 90%. Because the federal government is proposing having a standard bridge.
Residents and road users commended the government for saving them from the pains and agony, as well as huge money spent on repair of their vehicles while plying the road.
We really appreciate them for the job well done. It's a very great work and really appreciate it.
The bridge was not only fixed for smooth ride, it was also widened, while the former blockade to free flow of water under the bridge was cleared, paving way for easy movement of water, saving residents from annual flooding experienced in the area. From Advocacy, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
And it's back to Abuja for the continuation of the news. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. The Nigerians in Diaspora Commission is developing far-reaching economic measures to engage more than 6,000 evacuees recorded since the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic. This is in addition to some of the reintegration platforms to attract the interest of Nigerians in diaspora to leverage investments and political opportunities. All this was made known at a briefing commemorating Diaspora Day. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports.
The Diaspora Day is gradually becoming an event that Nigerians within and outside the country look forward to. The government agency saddled with the responsibility of seeing diaspora affairs as preparatory to the 2020 edition of Diaspora Day listed what it has been able to achieve in the last 1 year, which include successful evacuation of more than 6,000 Nigerians and widening economic scope for active participation by evacuees. Chairman Nigerians in Diaspora Commission Abike Dabire says sustained engagements and collaboration with countries of the world is yielding positive outcome and promised to step up efforts in the protection of Nigerian citizens.
Under this administration, 501 Nigerians returned from South Africa, and the Diaspora Commission was on ground to receive them warmly with starter packs, some transport money, and then we also have programs for them with SMED and NDE, which we are still monitoring.
Abike Dabire explains that the Commission will focus on strengthening diplomatic instruments for maximum benefit of Nigerians abroad and emphasized creation of NITCOM offices across the country. The 15th celebration and second since the creation of the Commission will hold via webinar on Saturday this week and climax to with performances by selected artists in the entertainment industry. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, wishes to inform the general public that normal activities and operations are running seamlessly in all its zonal offices across the country and its corporate headquarters in Abuja. In a statement by the head media and publicity, Dele Oyewale, the latest developments in the Commission and the subsisting COVID-19 protocols have necessitated a scaling down of activities. However, visitors on invitation by the Commission are in no way affected by the protocol. The EFCC is deeply committed to the anti-corruption agenda of President Muhammadu Buhari, and every Nigerian is enjoined to continue to shun and expose corrupt practices anywhere, anytime. The EFCC is on course and its values remain sound and robust. We now take you to Sokoto for stories making rounds in that zone. Saidia is our guide.
Zamfara State government has introduced a monthly financial support program for various categories of the needy through the State Zakat and Endowment Board. Governor Bello Muhammad, who flagged off the assistance to the first batch of beneficiaries, says the program is part of ongoing efforts to improve the well-being of the less privileged in the society. Sadia Abubakar has more.
The high number of persons displaced by the activities of armed bandits in Zamfara State, coupled with the current economic hardship, requires concerted effort to reduce the suffering of the people, especially the less privileged. This obviously prompted the Zamfara State government to revive and improve the disbursement of periodic cash assistance to various categories of the needy through the State Zakat and Endowment Board. Under the new arrangement, no fewer than 100 persons will be drawn monthly from across the state to benefit from the package. Governor Bello Mohammed flagged off the disbursement of the cash assistance to the first batch of the beneficiaries.
I call on the beneficiaries of this package to make the best use of them so that they could be self-reliant.
The chairman, Zamfara State Zakat and Endowment Board, Professor Kabiru Jabaka, who spoke on the criteria used in selecting the beneficiaries.
For instance, supporting the indisposed to be able to manage their indispositions, their different ailments. Supporting those that want to establish small-scale businesses.
The beneficiaries, who received 30,000 to 40,000 naira each, are full of gratitude to Zamfara State government for the gesture and pledged to make judicious utilization of the assistance. In Gusau, Sadia Abubakar Chino, NTA News.
Now, Kebbi State is being threatened by more than 1,000 erosion sites destroying the ecosystem in the affected communities. This situation prompted officials of the State Ministry of Environment and other stakeholders to embark on an inspection of some of the affected areas in the state. Nuritan Kwakili reports.
Erosion is a common phenomenon in the southern part of Nigeria, associated with heavy downpour and prolonged rainy season. Due to the climate change, it is now taking toll on some northern states, Kebbi State inclusive. As of 2017, there was 1,151 erosion sites in the state, threatening a number of settlements and their farmlands. This erosion site is in Dalijan Gondo local government area of Kebbi State, and it has already eroded many houses. The threat is more in rural communities due to the nature of their structures and near absence of town planning. Like Dalijan, the situation is almost similar in Kuria and Gondo town, which informed the decision of authorities to seek for the intervention of both federal and state governments.
This phenomena is always increasing due to excessive rainfall. We have written to the Ecological Fund so that they can assist us.
Come to our aid to see they have repaired this erosion for us.
Residents of these settlements describe their experience from erosion as devastating.
If necessary action is not taken, very soon some houses and farms will be destroyed.
The erosion is said to have claimed many properties during rainy season, including livestock and farm produce. Muratan Kwakili, NTA News.
That's it from here. It's back to Najatu in Abuja.
Thank you, Saidia. And still on erosion, residents of Ajaka Igalamela Udolu local government area of Kogi State, a community affected by erosion, have appealed to the federal and state governments to come to their aid as a result of the loss and hardship suffered following a downpour in the area. Correspondent Lukman Muhammad reports from the community.
Ajaka, the headquarters of Igalamela Odolu local government area is an agrarian community with large number of population. High gully erosion has eaten deep in various communities of the area.
This time around, it has become so devastating such that it now requires
both the federal, the state, and then the local government. We know that it is a situation that the local government cannot come to the assistance of what is happening within this community.
The community is pleading to the federal government, state government, or other agencies at least to give a constructing drainage system in order to control this erosion.
NTA News findings reveal that lack of drainage and poor maintenance of existing one has affected roads in the area.
This will cut off communities that need to find their way to the central for economic reasons.
From Ajaka in Igalamela Odolu local government area of Kogi State, Lukman Mohammed, NTA News.
Thank you, Lukman. Another break beckons. Do stay with the NTA.
She cried. She cried in anguish and in pain. She bears the scourge of her grief. She toils in vain for justice and succumbs to silence. He gloats over his malady. Like a beast, he pounces with no remorse. Her cry meant nothing. Her pain feeds her shame. Like an orphan, she is left to grieve in solitude. But no more will she cry in vain. Her adversaries will henceforth bear the brunt of their bestiality. Rape is evil. Rape is a plague, a pandemic of monumental consequences. We must unite and kick it out of our society.
Connect with NTA and stand against rape and rapists.
This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
The chances of victims surviving COVID-19. A corruption-free society creates opportunities for citizens to thrive and prosper. Build your immunity. Stop corruption now. Report all acts of corruption to ICPC on this toll-free number 0800 22 55 4272. This message is brought to you by ICPC and NTA.
Let us take responsibility. Stay healthy, stay safe, and curb the spread of the virus. Take responsibility. The coronavirus spreads from one person to another. Let us avoid crowd gathering of any kind for any reason. Take responsibility. Avoid traveling from one state to another during these lockdown restrictions. Obey all the rules that are put in place. Take responsibility. Stop spreading fake news and unverified reports about the coronavirus. There is no known cure for COVID-19. Take responsibility. Observe all the measures that can help stop the spread of the virus. Together, we can do this, but only if we take responsibility. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
Thanks for staying tuned. EPL Top 4 battle intensifies. Tamara Ibiwe has details on Sports Update.
Veteran Sports Administrator Ilyasu Husseini Jahun has urged stakeholders to push for a major reversal of trend in global sports by promoting Nigeria's age-long indigenous and traditional games. Jahun spoke to correspondent Ahmad Mohammed in Dutse, Jigawa State.
Most of those traditional sports are now pitted into modernized sports, like Kokoa, what you call wrestling, Dambe, boxing, weightlifting, Naui. So all those now have been pitted into World Olympic Game. So I think Jiga has to do something to make sure that we revive those sporting activities.
In football, the battle for a top 4 finish in the Premier League continues with 2 matches slated for Wednesday. Manchester United will aim to claim maximum points against the visiting West Ham United in a match that will be beamed live on the NTA Sports 24, channels 270 on Star Times DTT, 433 on Star Sats, and 731 on Free TV at 6 p.m. The other fixture on the 9th pits Chelsea against winners Liverpool at Anfield. Tamara Ebiwe, NTA News.
The remains of late Ismail Isa Funtua has been laid to rest in Abuja, Kolo Mohammed reports.
That was the last prayer for late Malam Ismail Isa Funtua, a close ally of President Muhammadu Buhari, a media and business administrator who died yesterday night. With that over, the hundreds of sympathizers accompanied the body to the Gudu cemetery for burial.
We thank God he impacted to the life of so many.
Alhaji Ismail Isa Funtua has contributed immensely to the development of this country, particularly journalism and then industry and even governance. A lot of people may not even know that he was a federal minister in 1983.
Malam Ismail Isa Funtua died at the age of 78 years and he was married with children. In Abuja, Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari mourns the death of Malam Ismaila Isa Funtua, a life patron of the International Press Institute and the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, the President expresses the sadness of his family and that of the nation over the demise of the publisher and businessman who was, quote, greatly respected and admired. President Buhari prays to Allah for the repose of his soul and fortitude for the bereaved family to bear the loss. In his years of politics, Malam Ismaila had associated very closely with President Muhammadu Buhari. Meanwhile, tributes have continued to pour in as prominent Nigerians and organizations mourn Ismaila Isa Funtua, who passed away recently. Elizabeth Omori compiled the condolence messages.
President of the Senate Hamid Lawan has described the death of Malam Ismaila Isa Funtua as a painful loss. Senator Lawan expressed his heartfelt condolence to the family of the late Ismaila, whom he described as a business mogul, community leader, socio-political activist, and nationalist. Lawan also condoles with the government, people of Katsina State, and President Muhammadu Buhari, whom he said has lost a close friend, trusted ally, and in-law. In the same vein, Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila has received with sadness the death of the former president of the Newspapers Proprietors Association of Nigeria, Malam Ismaila Isa Funtua. Gbajabiamila says Funtua lived a life full of service to humanity. The Speaker also commiserates with President Muhammadu Buhari over the loss of his longtime friend. Meanwhile, in a condolence message, Chairman of the Governors Forum and Governor of Plateau State, Simon Bakulalong, said he is saddened by the news of the demise of Malam Funtua. His death, the governor notes, is a great loss to his family, the northern region, and the entire nation, considering his immense contributions to national development. The Northern Governors Forum chairman also commiserates with President Muhammadu Buhari over this sad development, as the late Malam Funtua was his long-term associate. In a condolence message from the International Press Institute, Malam Ismaila's colossal influence to national development traversed the fields of public service, business, politics, and the media. Malam Ismaila was a life patron of IPI, the global network of editors, senior journalists, and media executives, with a lifetime devotion to a free press. He will be most remembered as the arrowhead of Nigeria's successful hosting of the historic 2018 IPI World Congress and General Assembly in Abuja. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Similarly, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed has described the death of Malam Ismaila Isa Funtua as a rude shock and a severe blow to the media industry in the country. A statement signed by the Special Assistant to the President, Office of the Minister of Information and Culture, Shegun Adeyemi, hails Malam Isa Funtua's contribution to media development and his untiring defense of free speech and the freedom of the press, starting from his days as the founder of the Democrat to his stint as the president of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria. A man of many parts, with his eventful life highlighted by service, whether as a media icon, an entrepreneur, or a philanthropist. He also served as a government minister and a member of the 1994-95 Constitutional Conference, hallmarking his versatility. Lai Mohammed extends his condolences to Mr. President, other family and friends of the late Isa Funtua, and indeed the entire media industry. He prays for the repose of the soul of the departed and for comfort and strength for the family he left behind. And the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Malam Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, on behalf of the entire staff of the authority, has condoled with President Muhammadu Buhari, the government and people of Edo State, the district head of Funtua and the International Press Institute over the passing away of Malam Ismaila Isa Funtua. The Director General describes Malam Funtua as a great nationalist, a prolific writer and an accomplished journalist who demonstrated his dexterity as the managing director of the Democrat newspaper and as life patron of the Newspapers Proprietors Association of Nigeria and the International Press Institute. He also recalls his excellent performance as a member of the 1994 Constitutional Conference. Malam Yakubu Ibn Muhammad prays Almighty Allah to grant him eternal rest and for the family to bear the loss. And on that note, we conclude Nationwide. Thanks for watching.